Chicago, University of Chicago, basement computer lab. Winter, 1991. The room smells faintly of dust and warm plastic. David Raup sits alone at a terminal, coat still on, coffee untouched beside the keyboard. The screen glows green against the concrete walls. Rows of fossil extinction dates scroll upward, one after another, each reduced to a number, stripped of story. He is not looking for causes. He is checking spacing. Raup adjusts his glasses and taps a key. The printer beside him shudders to life, spitting out a thin sheet of dot matrix paper. He lifts it, scans it once, then again, slower this time. His jaw tightens. Outside the lab, a janitor's cart rolls past. Somewhere above, a door closes. Nothing dramatic happens, but Raup does not smile. Earlier that week, Raup and his colleague Jack Sepkoski had agreed on something modest: rerun extinction timing data using updated statistical methods. No theories, no mechanisms, just pattern detection. Sepkoski had joked about it over lunch. "Worst case," he said, "we confirm randomness and go home early." But the output on Raup's desk doesn't look random. The extinctions, big ones, small ones, clusters, line up in intervals. Not perfect, not mechanical, but regular. Raup scribbles numbers in the margin of the printout. He shifts time windows. The pattern holds. He leans back, staring at the ceiling pipes. Regularity implies recurrence. Recurrence implies something acting repeatedly. And nothing in paleontology is supposed to behave that way. Later that night, same lab. Raup hesitates, then reaches for the phone mounted on the wall. He dials Sepkoski's number. The line clicks, rings. Jack answers, groggy. "Jack," Raup says, voice low, "I think we need to talk." There's a pause. "Is it noise?" Sepkoski asks. Raup looks at the paper again. "No," he says, "it's spacing." Silence on the line. "You ran the window shifts?" Sepkoski asks. "Yes." "Multiple methods?" "Yes." Another pause. Then, very quietly, "Don't tell anyone yet." The call ends. That sentence, "Don't tell anyone yet," is the point of no return. 6 weeks later. Scientific Conference, San Diego. Early morning session. The room is half full. Coffee cups, murmured conversations. This is not a headline panel. Raup steps to the podium. He presents the data cautiously. No causes, no speculation, just statistics. "Approximately 26 million years," he says, repeating. A ripple passes through the audience. Someone in the back shifts in their seat. A senior geologist leans toward his neighbor and whispers something Raup can't hear. The questions come fast. Selection bias? Data smoothing? Coincidence clustering? Raup answers carefully, calmly. Then one hand goes up, an editor from a major journal. "Dr. Raup," the editor says, "are you suggesting a hidden driver of extinction?" Raup pauses. "No," he says, "I'm suggesting a pattern without a cause." The room goes quiet. That's worse. Chicago. Weeks later. The paper is submitted, then returned, not rejected. Interesting, but speculative. Another journal responds differently. Statistically intriguing, but potentially misleading. A third asks for a mechanism. Raup writes back. There is none identified. That's when the tone changes. Phone calls stop. Conference invitations slow. A colleague pulls him aside in a hallway. "David," he says gently, "you're stepping into something undefined." Raup nods. He understands. Science tolerates errors. It struggles with patterns that refuse explanation. At home that night, Raup spreads the printouts across his dining table. His wife watches him from the doorway. "Is it wrong?" she asks. He shakes his head. No, he says, that's the problem. He gathers the papers into a neat stack and slides them into a folder. On the cover, he writes a single word: periodicity. He doesn't know yet what it will cost him, only that something has already been set in motion, and it won't stop just because no one wants to name it. Washington, D.C. Smithsonian Institution, Archive Reading Room, Spring 1992. The room is quiet enough to hear paper breathe. Jack Zukowski sits at a long wooden table beneath green-shaded lamps, surrounded by fossil catalogs older than anyone alive in the building. He turns pages slowly, deliberately, as if speed itself might be misinterpreted. Across from him lies a manila envelope, unlabeled. Inside it are printouts from Raup's latest analysis. Revised, tightened, harder to dismiss, Zukowski does not open the envelope immediately. Instead, he looks up at the walls where portraits of past scientists stare down with calm certainty. Men who cataloged the past without disturbing the present. He exhales, then finally slides the papers out. The pattern is still there, sharper now. Word has begun to circulate, not publicly but institutionally. Editors talk to editors. Reviewers talk to department heads. The phrase changes depending on who's speaking, but the meaning doesn't. This is awkward. This complicates things. This goes nowhere useful. Zukowski receives a call from a colleague at another university. Jack, the voice says, cautious, I hear you're involved in that extinction periodicity thing. Involved is a strong word, Zukowski replies. A pause. Well, the colleague continues, just be careful. There are grants tied to long-term climate models that assume randomness. Your pattern introduces questions. After the call, Zukowski writes a note to himself in the margin of a notebook. Questions threaten funding before they threaten truth. Chicago. Department office, late afternoon. Raup sits across from the department chair. The blinds are half closed. Sunlight cuts the room into stripes. The chair folds his hands. David, he says, I'm not telling you to stop. Raup waits. But I am telling you that continuing down this path will isolate you. From what? Raup asks. The chair hesitates. From momentum. Raup nods slowly. So you're advising caution. I'm advising realism. There it is. The chair slides a document across the desk, a review draft. One sentence is underlined in red. The periodicity claim lacks explanatory framework and risks misinterpretation. If you revise, the chair says, this could still move forward. Revise how? Raup asks. The chair doesn't answer. Raup stands, picks up the draft, and folds it once, neatly, before placing it back on the desk. No, he says. That refusal closes a door that will not reopen. 6 months later. Journal editorial office. Zukowski receives the email late at night. Decision, decline. No peer review comments attached. Just a short note. While the statistical work is competent, publication without a plausible mechanism may encourage speculative interpretations inconsistent with the journal's standards. Zukowski forwards the email to Raup with a single line. They're not arguing the math. Raup replies within minutes. I know. The shock isn't the rejection, it's the silence that follows. No counter-arguments, no attempts to falsify, just disengagement. The pattern has become radioactive. Chicago, winter, 1993. Raup walks home through snow-dusted streets, briefcase light in his hand. His steps crunch softly, rhythmically, uncomfortably close to the intervals he's been measuring for 2 years. At home, He opens a letter from a funding agency. "We regret to inform you." He sets it aside without finishing. Later that night, he and Sepkoski speak on the phone again. "They're acting like it doesn't exist," Sepkoski says. Raup looks at the stack of unpublished drafts on his desk. "That's one way to make something disappear," he replies. "What do we do?" Sepkoski asks. Raup doesn't answer immediately. Outside, the city hums. Cars, heaters, distant trains, systems running without explanation. "We wait," Raup says finally. "And we watch." He hangs up and turns back to the data. The pattern doesn't care about journals. It doesn't care about funding cycles, it just keeps repeating. And somewhere, deep in geological time, something is still setting the clock. Cambridge, Massachusetts, MIT campus. Autumn 1994. The lecture hall empties in reverse. Students leave first. Backpacks, jackets, murmured conversations. Then junior faculty. Finally, only a few senior professors remain, standing in small clusters, voices low. At the front of the room, a young paleontologist, not famous, not tenured, packs transparencies back into a folder. His talk was careful. No claims of cause, no speculation, just graphs, peaks, gaps, peaks again, a repeating signal buried in extinction data. As he zips his bag, a senior professor approaches. "You shouldn't show that slide anymore," the man says quietly. "Which one?" "The one with the intervals." The young researcher nods once. He understands exactly which one. By the mid-1990s, Raup and Sepkoski are no longer alone. Other researchers, statisticians, paleobiologists, even astrophysicists have noticed the same rhythm. They don't coordinate, they don't cite each other loudly, but the numbers converge. Every time someone reruns the data set, updated extinction records, refined dating, the regularity refuses to dissolve. It doesn't weaken, it tightens. And that's when the tone shifts. Not skepticism, fatigue. Grant reviewers begin writing the same phrase in different ways. Interesting, but outside the scope of current priorities. Conference organizers move talks to smaller rooms. Editors request additional context that cannot exist without a mechanism. The problem isn't that the pattern is wrong. The problem is that it points somewhere science doesn't want to look yet. Boulder, Colorado. Geological Society Conference. 1995. A closed-door panel discussion. No press, no recordings. A senior editor speaks first. "We need to address the extinction periodicity issue," he says. "It's becoming distracting." A statistician pushes back. "You don't solve distraction by ignoring valid signals." A pause. Another voice, calmer, administrative. "We're not ignoring it. We're contextualizing it." How? By requiring causal plausibility. Someone laughs quietly. "That's backwards," the statistician says. "Patterns come before causes." The editor leans forward. "And causes require responsibility." Silence. Because everyone understands what that means. If the pattern is real, someone will eventually ask, "What is doing this? Is it predictable? And can we do anything about it?" The meeting ends without a vote, but an unspoken decision has been made. From this point forward, extinction periodicity will be treated as methodologically inconvenient. That label sticks. Late 1990s. Journal databases. Citations tell the story. Early papers spike briefly, then flatten, then vanish. Not retracted, not disproven, simply not referenced. Graduate students are advised to choose safer dissertation topics. One is told directly, "If you build your career on this, you'll be known for a problem no one wants to solve." Another receives anonymous peer review feedback. The analysis is sound, but the implications are unclear and potentially misleading. Misleading to whom? No one answers. What shocks the original researchers most is not hostility, it's compliance. The community doesn't argue, it moves on. Chicago, early 2000s. Raup, older now, sits in his office surrounded by books he's written, awards he's earned, and a filing cabinet few people open anymore. Inside that cabinet are extinction charts. Rerun, rechecked, still ticking. He writes one final note in the margin of a printout. Absence of mechanism does not equal absence of process. He never submits it. Outside academia, the world is changing. Climate models grow more complex. Risk assessment becomes predictive. Systems theory enters everything from finance to epidemiology. Patterns are no longer curiosities, they are warnings. Yet this one remains Stockholm, Sweden. Winter, 2013. A PhD student sits alone in a computer lab long after midnight. Snow presses against the window like static. On her screen, a global biodiversity dataset. Tens of thousands of fossil occurrences, time-stamped, cleaned, standardized. The kind of dataset earlier researchers would have killed for. She isn't looking for mass extinctions, she's testing a new clustering algorithm. The code finishes running. A visualization blooms across the screen. Regular spikes, too regular. She assumes an error, she reruns it. Same result. She opens an old PDF, downloaded out of curiosity after noticing a strange citation gap. Rope, Sepkoski, 1984. Her stomach tightens, she whispers to no one. No way! This generation didn't inherit the taboo. They inherited data, cloud storage, open access journals, machine learning tools that don't care about academic discomfort. They don't know they're not supposed to look here. In Stockholm, in Toronto, in Kyoto. The same thing happens quietly. Different students, different code bases, same rhythm. Not identical intervals, never exact, but statistically aligned well beyond chance. The students do what they're trained to do. They email advisors. The replies are polite, then cautious, then strangely vague. One advisor writes back, "This topic has history. Be careful how you frame it." Another suggests focusing on methodological novelty rather than results. A third doesn't reply at all. Vienna, European Geosciences Union Conference, 2014. A small room, poster session, low traffic. The Stockholm student stands beside her poster anyway. A man in his 60s stops. He studies the chart silently. Too long. "You know what this is," he says. She hesitates. "I know what it looks like." He nods once. "I was at MIT in the 90s. Pause. We were told to stop." She swallows. "Why?" He glances around the room before answering. "Because patterns imply foresight, and foresight implies accountability." He walks away. She stays. That night, she uploads a preprint. No conclusions, no causes, just math. Once it's online, it cannot be pulled back. That's the point of no return. The response is immediate. Not public criticism, private pressure. Her advisor calls her into the office. "This isn't a conversation, it's a warning. This will affect your funding prospects." A collaborator withdraws their name from a follow-up paper. A journal editor responds within hours, not weeks. While the analysis is interesting, we feel this topic risks reviving unproductive debates. Unproductive. The word hits harder than wrong, because it means that data isn't being evaluated. It's being categorized as trouble. The paper stays online, cited sparingly, mostly by people outside paleontology, systems theorists, risk analysts, a few climate modelers who recognize the smell of a suppressed variable. The student finishes her PhD. She does not get a postdoc in extinction research. She pivots. Computational ecology, safer. Across the world, similar stories unfold. No bans, no scandals, just a subtle narrowing. The field doesn't close the door. It makes the hallway so uncomfortable that people turn around on their own. And yet, something has changed. The data is too big now, too distributed, too easy to rerun. Every year, new extinction timelines are updated. Every year, the rhythm persists, not loudly, but stubbornly. Which brings us to the most dangerous question yet. Not what causes the pattern, but what it would mean if the pattern continues forward. Because prediction changes everything. And in the final part, we'll confront why science can tolerate unexplained past extinctions, but not the possibility of a future one that arrives on schedule. Princeton, New Jersey. Early morning, 2019. A senior researcher unlocks his office before sunrise. He has tenure, decades of citations, nothing left to prove. He pours bad coffee into a chipped mug and opens an email marked, "Draft, do not forward." Attached, a synthesis paper. Global extinction data, updated through the late 2010s, marine, terrestrial, cleaned, cross-validated. At the bottom of the document is a single paragraph highlighted in yellow. When projected forward, the periodic signal intersects the present epoch. He stares at it for a long time. Then he closes the laptop. This time, the pattern isn't hiding in the past. It's brushing against the present. The team is small, 4 people across 3 institutions. All experienced, all careful. No students, they meet in person, no Zoom recordings, no shared cloud folders. Whiteboard, markers, silence. No one argues about the math, that's the problem. One of them says quietly, "If this holds, people will ask what comes next." Another replies, "And we don't have an answer they'll accept, because a pattern without a mechanism is one thing. A pattern with timing is something else entirely. It invites prediction, and prediction carries responsibility." The youngest member of the group sends an email, just one, to a risk analyst she trusts. Subject line: off-record question about recurrence intervals. She doesn't ask about extinctions. She asks about decision-making under predictable risk. The reply comes that afternoon. Short, clinical. If an event appears statistically recurrent but causally unresolved, institutions will treat it as noise until the cost of ignoring it exceeds the cost of acknowledging it. She forwards the email to the group. That click forward is the point of no return, because now the work has left academia. Within weeks, the tone shifts. A journal editor who had been encouraging goes silent. A scheduled workshop panel is quietly restructured. Topic changed. One team member is advised, informally, to step back from the synthesis. Not threatened, just guided. Then the funding call they were waiting for is released. It explicitly excludes speculative temporal pattern analysis lacking mechanistic grounding. No names mentioned, no accusations, but everyone in the room understands. The message is clear. You can study the past. You can model causes. But you cannot connect timing to consequence without paying a price. The paper is never submitted. Not rejected, never sent. Instead, fragments appear elsewhere. A paragraph in a review article. A footnote in a risk modeling paper. A slide shown briefly at a closed-door workshop, then skipped. The senior researcher retires the following year. The youngest switches fields. The data remains public. The pattern remains detectable. But no one is responsible for it anymore, which may be the safest possible outcome. Here is what remains, once everything else is stripped away. Science did not reject the extinction pattern because it was wrong. It rejected it because it worked too well without explaining itself. A predictable process acting on geological time threatens more than theory. It threatens planning, policy, insurance. The idea that catastrophes are, by definition, surprises. History shows that societies tolerate disasters better than schedules, because disasters absolve. Schedules accuse. The pattern still exists. It may weaken, it may sharpen, it may dissolve with future data, or it may continue, quietly, past the point where ignoring it is no longer neutral. And if that day comes, the most uncomfortable question won't be what caused it. It will be, who knew and chose not to look forward?